Walk around the compound, see some tigers. We're gonna go see Yano. Hey. Hi. Hi, Mr. Man. Oh my gosh. Are you liking this weather today? It's pretty good. It's very moo-full weather. I give it 4.5 moos. Oh wow, 4.5. That's pretty good. Yano gives this weather 4.5 moos. Oh, look at that baby. Look at that baby. Ugh. Ugh. So cute, it's gross. Ah, jeez. Ah, jeez. Oh, wait a minute. Look at. He saw me, and then he's like, I will hide behind this bush. I will hide behind this bush. Derek will not see me. I am very sneaky. There is a Bobby. She is right there. Where are you going? Bobby! Bobby! Brun. Brun, brun. Does anyone see where Polly is? Huh. I thought I saw him just a little bit ago. Polly! Polly! Where are you at? Polly! Papa! Oh! There you are! You were there the whole time? He's like, I was there the whole time, Derek. What? No way. Smoke and mirrors, magic and trickery. I don't believe you for a second. You've been bouncing around for far too long. You know some tricks, old fella. You know tricks. I know you do. Still got it. Still got it. Still got the pee. Hello, all you big cat lovers out there. It's me, Derek, again. Welcome to another super duper fantastic walk around the compound webcast. Hey, bless you. Bless you. Where is Miss Salina Pants? There's a Mr. Wally Pants. Hi, bud. Oh my gosh, really? No. Gave him some horse a little bit ago, and he was eating it, and it was fresh horse. It was taken from a horse that I guess you could, like never refrigerated, or like, you know, like Wendy's is like, hey, never frozen. Well, this was one of those kind of things where it came from a fresh source. Gave him some horse, and he liked it because it's like, if it's too cold, then he's just like, I don't want to eat it. Ugh. Can you cut the crusts off? And we're like, yes. So he likes warmish meat. Like a lot of times when Heidi feeds him, she has to take a leg or something, or a chunk out of the freezer, and she's got to, like, we call it the freezer. It's a cooler. It's not a freezer. It's a cooler. It keeps meat cool. So it's just a large refrigerator, but it's not a freezer. But we call it the freezer. It's just kind of like how we call the 4, JP, Jake, Lucia, and Luca, the babies, even though they're over 10 years old. Yeah, they're not babies, but we call them that. There you go. So anyway, we pulled it out of the freezer. Like Heidi has to pull legs and chunks and shoulders and everything out of the freezer for, oh my gosh, look at him. She's got to pull chunks out of the freezer and then, like, get them so that they warm up and become a little bit more palatable for Mr. Wapants. Wally. And then he'll eat them. Wah wah. Wah 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 wah. Wah. Alright. I am good for one roll. I am good for one roll. Nice day. Nice day. Hi, Ace. Hi, Mr. Man. Had some tours come by today. It's a very nice young lady. Very nice young lady who actually is in the Army, who said that Ace was her favorite. So that's when, like, a lot of times people come to visit. I'm like, hey, do you want to go? Like, we'll go get a selfie. Like, people are like, can I get a picture? And it's like, okay, well, let's go out into the compound, and I'll ask, like, who's your favorite cat? And then they'll say just like, well, it's this one. I'm like, all right, and then we'll go and we'll try to find that cat, see if we can get them to come up to the fence, and then we'll take a selfie and with that cat. And but she's like, Ace, and I'm like, well, I don't know if that's a good. I don't think that's gonna work out. Getting the old Ace selfie, probably not gonna happen. I don't think he's gonna be too pleased. But then she said, like, secondary Rasa. So we tried that, but Rasa was sleepy, so, you know. She was really sweet. Very, very sweet. Watches the webcasts. Oh my goodness. I'm so very sorry. I'm horrible with names. Horrible with names. I know that she told the name, and she's been here before. Ah, crap. But she was extraordinarily sweet, and told me how much the webcasts have meant to her, and how they've helped. You know, because it's just the community kind of aspect, and there's the different things that, you know, because I've been open and forthcoming about, you know, certain things in my life, and things that I've noticed and seen and struggled, and people, you know, but it's all set to this backdrop of this real setting and cats and the personalities, and it can be very relaxing and help with nerves and calmness and stuff. So she was just expressing how thankful she was that, you know, the videos, and she was very sweet about it. So just wanted to say hi and thank you for coming. And it was very nice. All the things that, you know, all the things she said, it really, really made my week. She was very kind. Noe. We got Noe locked up. See, because while he's eating, but he'll eat a little bit, and then he'll go away, and then he'll eat a little bit more, and then he'll go away. So we had to give Noe a chunk. And then we had to, like, lock her up, because she'll eat all Wally's stuff. Look at her. She's just like, I am not pleased with this development. She's like, I am not happy. But yeah, we need to, like, give Wally his space so that he can take his time and he can eat, you know. And once it starts getting a little bit darker, we're going to open it back up, because Wally needs to have access to this area, because they both go into that box together and they share warmth. So once it gets dark, we'll open it up. We'll look at the daggers. Just oh, Noe. Oh, sleepy kitties up on the top of the thingamabob there. So, yeah, politics. That's crazy, right? I'm trying to figure out a way to segue into some stuff that I want to talk about. And people are like, no, don't, like, I'm not going to get into the specifics and the names and this side versus that side and stuff like that. But I do want to talk about, some of the interesting perspectives that, clear perspective, I guess, that kind of made me think a little bit about my own personal upbringing, and, like, some of the stuff that I just kind of saw in this last, crazy year and a half of United States election cycles. It was, it's crazy. It's crazy. Everything was nuts. And I know that even by mentioning it, You know, like, oh, I like this people are gonna get all crazy because like one side versus the other side. Sass, Cassie, come on, baby, I hear you. Sass, you're in there. She squeaks. She's like, no, you come in here. Sass, Cassie, come on. Sass. Sassum. Yeah, it was insane. And look, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, that I was just so happy about the choices that were eventually given. I mean, certainly, no. But I'm not going to sit there. I'm also, like, because some people, they think that this is, like, there's Armageddon times, and it's like, look, let's just wait and see. I don't want to get too deep into the specifics of that stuff. Because it becomes so divisive. It becomes so, and it just gets people so bent out of shape about this or that, my side or your side or this person. Well, what about this and this and this? And then people they'll paint with these really broad strokes about one side or the other side, or well, you guys are like this or that. I don't want to get into that. But one thing I do want to talk about is I guess the difference in attitudes that I got to see both sides of growing up. And I'm talking about, I guess you could say, like, the difference, like, and this is from a fundamental, like, ideological perspective, kind of that difference between, like, the red versus the blue, the liberal versus the conservative, mainly, like, the rural working class versus the urban, like, college educated, you know, and kind of more upscale. Like, there's a difference. There's a difference, and the mindsets of people reflect that. And I wanted to just briefly touch upon those things, and I wanted to talk about my own personal experience as a kid, growing up with exposure to, like, both sides of those things, because it got me thinking about all the things and all the nastiness and all the vitriolic anger that was spewed back and forth, and it was like both sides where it's just like they felt like we're not being heard, like our side of things is not being identified with or heard, and it's like, but a lot of times it's because the other side of things, they have no frame of reference or no frame of context. You know, like, you know, you know, white farmers in the Midwest might not necessarily understand the struggles of, you know, people of color in, like, some of the inner cities, and then the people that are in the cities, they might not necessarily understand the different dynamic struggles of you know, factory workers, like, you know, in Nebraska. But it's like, again, without saying, like, this is the right, then that's the, I'm not getting into that, because ultimately I don't care about this. Come on, we're better than that. At the end of the day, we're all people. And the whole thing was ugly. It was really ugly on both sides. There was ugliness and everything on both sides, you know. But I still have hope, and I still have promise for our future. I still wish the powers that be the best of luck. I do. Someone tweeted something like wanting the current powers to be to fail is like sitting inside of an airplane and hoping that the pilot crashes. And it's just like, yeah, like whether or not you agree with, like, who eventually made it or not, whether or not you know, the certain lines have been drawn and certain things have already been happening. The machinations are happening, and the exchange of power is going on. So let's hope that things are good. And again, you know, the big part is hold people accountable. And one thing I will say is it energized people. Like, it's sometimes when you're cleaning house, you gotta lift up the couch and realize, like, wow, we haven't vacuumed under here in a long time. It's gross. So, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes, like, having these, like, unpleasant elements of our collective shared experience illuminated, it's not always a bad thing. I will say, just from a societal perspective, even though it's ugly, it's galvanized a lot of people. So, one thing I will say is that there could be good, could be good things that happen. But, okay. What I want to say is, in my family, like, I grew up in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin is actually, because, like, when you look at the map, there's some states, like, they run blue, or they run red, and they always have. Or as for as long as, like, living memory or people who are currently alive could ever even say, because the average citizenry of one state is going to lean towards a certain ideological perspective, and then the inhabitants of another state are going to lean towards the opposing end of that ideological perspective, that political perspective. And I grew up in Wisconsin, which, historically speaking, it's a swing state. It's a swing state. It's run both red and blue. Hi, bud. And I will say that I got to see perspectives from both ends of that spectrum. I got to see the viewpoints. No, hold on. We got a tour that's going on right now. Got a tour that's happening right now. They're doing their thing. What's up, bud? Correct me. Are you okay? Are you Slade or Boomer's adoptive?
Slade.
Slade. Okay. Say hi to the cameras, everyone. Okay, this is Slade's adoptive pappy. He's coming to see his boy, coming to visit, coming to say hi. And your name again, sir?
Ryan.
Ryan, saying hi to Slade. So yeah, we have adoptive parents, and they will come. The dedicated ones who are have the fortunate circumstance of actually being local enough to be able to visit. So yeah, Ryan comes by and he'll talk to Slade and spend time with them, and he's been a very good, very dedicated adoptive dad to Slade. Getting to know each other, and as you can see, Slade is reciprocating because he's hanging out over here, and he's like, "That's my dad." So very good.
The guy with the chicken.
He's the guy with the chicken. Hey, it's all right to it's okay to bribe. It's okay to bribe when you're talking about cats. But I grew up in Wisconsin, which is it's a swing state. And in my own family, I had people that ranged across the spectrum. And there's a lot of people in America who have that. I have people who are farmers and factory workers on one side. And then I had a lot of people who are, very socially conscious and college educated, more urban dwelling on the other. And I loved all of them. I loved all of my family. And I got to hear, like, the viewpoints kind of from everyone, from that more traditionally kind of, conservative kind of side of things, and then the more traditionally, like, liberal side of things. And there's a lot of things that are good, and there's definitely some things that are very colorful on both ends. And like I said, I'm not going to sit there and pick apart each one of those kind of things, but at the end of the day, I mean, they were still comprised of people who, wore clothes and shit in toilets, and ate food, and enjoyed movies. It's people, and they might disagree, and they may dress a little bit differently. They may kind of align themselves with different institutions. But at the end of the day, it's still people. I loved my family on both sides. But I guess it's one of those kind of things that I did notice. It was kind of coming up a lot. Like, in this whole, in that whole election. Oh my gosh. And I think that it was like a big thing to, and that's always been like a traditional kind of thing in a lot of different elections in the past, where it's the difference between, and again, when people want to paint with these broad brush strokes, they want to paint with these and it's like one side is going to look at the other side and they're going to say like, oh, well, they're just a bunch of, they're just a bunch of closed-minded, bigoted, racist, inbred, rednecks. And then that side is going to be like, well, they're just a bunch of elitist, hoity-toity, naive, socialists, social justice. It's like the vitriol that can be experienced on both ends of the spectrum. It can be very tiresome. Very tiresome. That's why a lot of people, they say just like, because I don't try to, I really try to appeal to as wide of an audience as I possibly can. Not because it's like, I want to get them views. But it's like, I don't want to, I don't want to alienate people. Because I love people. I love all types of people. People that come from all different types of spectrums, all different backgrounds and, races and socioeconomic statures and belief systems and all that stuff. I loves people. I do. And even the ones that have opinions that might be disagreeable, I still love them. So I try not to. Again, like I said, like I know that some people are getting like, oh no, don't talk about politics, Derek. We love you so much. No. Again, I'm trying not to. That's why I take a lot of middle of the road like stances on a lot of different things, and I try to be as objective as I possibly can be. But I have my biases. I have my personal things that I bring to the table. And I've changed a lot of my opinions over the years. There's certain things that I thought of 10 years ago that I certainly don't think of now. Certainly. And I have, I got a lot of viewpoints that could be speckled and spotted like all over the political spectrum, you could say. It's like people want to identify this, like, because that's the thing. It's like as soon as you say, like, well, I think this is okay, and I think this is okay, and I think that these people should be given a little bit better, then immediately you're painted, just like, oh, because any of the ones, a couple of points that you agree on, they say that you're aligning yourself completely with all of it. And it's like, no, that's not. I like to think for myself a little bit more than that type of stuff. But yeah, this whole thing, it got people really fired up. More so than I've ever seen before. More so than I've ever seen. But like historically speaking, because people say it's the worst ever. It's like, did you live like in the 1800s? Like, were you reading like the newspapers from back? It's like, there's been a lot of, what happened? What happened? Oh my gosh. Hi, baby. Hi, sugar pie. I think Melita is more of like a third-party candidate type tiger. Oh boy. Firebug, leave her alone. Leave her alone. Just leave her alone. Just walk away. But, yeah. Sometimes I think, because in the long run, I'm because people are like, oh no, everything is just like let's wait to see like how history kind of paints all this stuff. And like I said, like this could actually, like even though that we're so divided on so many different things, there's still, like sometimes, like kind of really getting all the nasty stuff out in the open is not a bad thing. And I'm talking to both sides here. You know, I mean, because this was like, it's almost like when you really blow up and you have like a real honest to goodness argument with like a friend, you know, or a significant other, and you start getting like really honest, and right or wrong, it's honest. And then it's like, yeah, it hurts for a bit, but sometimes, like a lot of times, it's like it actually in a weird way makes you closer. You know, you ever have that where it makes you actually closer because now you know that person? I've got friends like that. I mean, where we just get into just these like really vicious arguments. We say some like really just, I've had arguments with friends like that where we just would say these really significant things to each other. And then it's like, it's like you might be looking at that and saying like, how could anyone move past that? How could that happen? How is that even possible? But we actually ended up becoming like closer as a result because we knew each other better. We understood each other better. We had like altered our own perspectives about certain things, taken inventory of how we approached things a little bit differently. So yeah, it was ugly. It was ugly, and there were good things and heroic things, I would say, about both sides, and then a lot of just garbage. Oh, just a lot of garbage on both sides. And of course, the comment section is probably going to be just literally just like, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you right now, don't make me disable the comments. Because this is one of the only videos I think I've ever actually considered possibly needing to do that for. Don't make me disable the comments. All right? I'm pretty certain I'm gonna have to go and delete a few. I just look. But I guess, yeah, because I talk about this thing and I try to talk about like the good and the bad on both sides because I got to see it growing up. I got to see both of those perspectives. You know, the people on one side and the people on the other, and you know, just people. I grew up with working class, you know, conservative leaning folks and college educated urbanites, social conscious liberals, you know. And then there's me. Reading my Lord of the Rings nerd books and putting tiger posters on my bedroom wall. Great tigers. I think we'll be okay. In the end, in the long run, I think we'll be okay. Because with cuteness like this is the unifying thing. Regardless of what side you're on, regardless of how you orient yourself, to the right, to the left, up or down, center, you know, whether you like the genders, or sexual orientations, or races, or religions, I think we can all agree that this is Dorbs. And that this is good. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel happy. There you go. Luca is the great unifier. Luca for president. Rabbits forever. What kind of platform would President Luca? What kind of platform would President Luca run on? Let us know in the comment section. Okay. That was a tough one. That was a minefield. I was a little bit nervous about getting into that one, but I think that I made the points that I wanted to make without getting too, you know, because again, I don't want to, yeah, I don't want to alienate people. And it's not about it being pandering either. It's not about being pandering. I like bringing everyone together. All of us weirdos. All of us. So, yeah, I think that I think that was all right. I think that was all right. Oh my gosh. Look at these kitties. Feeling froggy. Feeling froggy. All right. Well, I will, yeah. I will talk at you folks later. All right. Bye-bye. Okay, I have, this is going to be a weird, like, in the middle of the video, but there was I realized at the end of filming that there was a point that I wanted to get to that I didn't get to. And it was something that was important because it kind of ties a lot of the narrative concepts around. And I was talking about my own personal experience, of seeing both ends of the spectrum, and of your average American ideological right-left leaning kind of things. Because I was in Wisconsin, I was in a swing state, so yeah. But I wanted to say that what I kind of looked at and I realized with this, election was that there's a lot of people out there who they grow up without moose, and it's sad. Without moose, and it's sad. No, there's a lot of people who they grow up and they go through their developmental years and their formative years and like their real important years of kind of formulating opinions and personalities and things about themselves, but they grow up in an environment that is completely saturated one way or the other, and they don't ever have the exposure of the other side. So they only have the one way, and I'm talking both ends of the spectrum here. I'm talking about I'm not, because some people say just like, because people are going to look at that and they're going to be like, yeah, those people. And I'm like, sometimes you too, okay? Sometimes you too. Like there's people who grow up and then they grow up in completely one-sided environments on both ends of that whole spectrum, and they don't really get to see. So then it's easy for them to demonize the other side, because all they're hearing is like secondhand information about what these people are all about and who these people are. And like I said, I really, really, really did get to experience people from both sides. The main sides that were kind of really illuminated in this whole thing, and so that really shaped my perspective, and that really shaped how I saw it, And I didn't realize how fortunate I was as a little kid. That's just my family. This is my family. I had the farmers and the factory workers over on one side, and then I had the drum circle, college, these issues are very important, people on that side. And it was like, to the point of being stereotypical, this versus that. It really was, like the way that I grew up. So, yeah, I'm happy for that. I'm really happy because it shaped like who I am now. All right, I think that's the point that I was trying to make. This was like almost like I have to add like some indices, like little asterisks. I'm like, oh, by the way, it's so dumb. All right, so yeah, back to the video. Or if this is the end of it, I don't know. I guess again, I'm confused. Yeah, I should just create the dum-dum party. Yes, we will be confusing forever. We'll confuse all of our adversaries. All right.